Moin, ihr wunderbaren Menschen des Interwebs. Ich begrüße euch ganz herzlich zurück zu meinem Let's Play von The Great Ace-Attorney Chronicles. Wir sind bei der Zeugenaussage The Jailbreak Plot stehen geblieben und da werden wir uns jetzt einmal anhören, was die beiden netten Herrschaften dazu zu sagen haben. It was the day the Japanese jock was found guilty. The directive came from the prosecutor's office. I assigned the convict to the chief warder vigil here and put the plan into action behind the scenes. I was responsible for Ryunosuke right up until the night of his execution, but I knew nothing of any plot. I didn't keen if there were some negotiations between the convict and the prosecutor's office. All I did was carry out my duty for Her Majesty Great British Empire. A directive from the prosecutor's office? Are you saying that was the jailbreak plot? Oi, that's right. Who sent it? Who authorized that plan? I didn't keen that. You're saying you don't know? Listen, there was nothing about the professor case that was unusual in some way. I didn't ask any questions. I just did what I was told to do. More than that, I couldn't tell you. I see. But if the jailbreak plan originated from the prosecutor's office, then one thing is very clear. As suspected, there were clandestine dealings going on between Mr. Ryunosuke and that office. The jailbreak was promised in exchange for Mr. Ryunosuke admitting to crimes he didn't commit. That, counsel, is nothing more than speculation on your part. So, let me ask the defense. Oh, yes, my lord. I fail to see how these witnesses have any more pertinent information here. Do you intend to assert your right to cross-examination? Absolutely. I have no intention of squandering a single opportunity, my lord. It seems all you Japanese are fiercely tenacious. Very well. Proceed, counsel. Okay, ja, es gibt eine Sache, die ich angreifen möchte. I assigned the convict, bla bla bla. Das ist alles nicht so wichtig. Also es hilft uns nicht wirklich. Bla bla bla. Hier. All I did was carry out my duty for Her Majesty's Great British Empire. Und das würde ich jetzt sehr, sehr gerne angreifen. Weil das jetzt so die einzige Aussage da ist, die jetzt komplett irgendwie aus der Reihe fällt. Ja, die haben die ganze Zeit gesagt, ja, was sie getan haben, was für Orders sie bekommen haben. Und dann hier sagt er halt, ja, ich habe nur das gemacht, was man mir sagt und was. Did you carry out the plan in its entirety? I did everything I could at the time. As you know, Genji Ryunosuke was shot dead in Lowgate Cemetery after the escape. Tell me, was that part of the plan too? My instructions were to be getting the jock out of the jail and nothing more. I cannot tell you anything about what happened after that. Only, personally, I believe his death was the last part of the plan. Mr. Vigil, is something wrong? Yes, sir. What can I do for you, sir? He's saluting now? What is it? Sort of Barclay convention? What Governor Caden was just saying seemed to upset you. Did it bring something to mind, perhaps? For the last 10 years, I have completely blotted out the memories of that time from my mind. I was betrayed by my superiors, in the name of my country. Just as my father was betrayed, it seems. But you see, thinking back now, I really can't imagine that the shooting of Mr. Ryunosuke in the cemetery was ever part of the plan. What makes you think that? Well, it just doesn't make sense, does it? To make the man admit to crimes he didn't commit with the promise of a jailbreak only to kill him in the end. That's treachery of the worst kind. But the point is, if the intention was always to betray him, why would there be any need for all the degeneries of an escape? What have we already butchered? Yes, that's quite true. If whoever negotiated with Asogi never intended to keep his or her end of the bargain, it would have been far simpler just to let the man be executed in prison as dictated by his sentence. It all happened in that base chamber of secrets that is Barkley behind the high prison walls. I suppose nobody knows what really went on in the execution room now. Yes, it's an unsettling mystery, certainly. Aber müsste Seif nicht wissen, was da passiert ist? Truth be told, there is a wee matter that's never quite made sense to me. If you believe there was some kind of negotiation behind the jailbreak between Asogi and the body at the top, it doesn't quite add up, does it? Governor Caden, I must insist that you explain these doubts that you have by amending your formal testimony. Aye, go on then. Okay. It seems to me that the Japanese fella didn't have nothing to bargain with. Moment. The Asogi Papers. Last will and testament of Genshin Asogi. I, Genshin Asogi, hereby request that upon my death, any and all material possessions and wealth belonging to me in London be delivered to my son Kazuma Asogi in the Empire of Japan. It is with deep sadness that I accept my fate in this foreign land and the knowledge that I will never see my homeland or family again, but I regret nothing about my chosen path. Confessing under oath to murders he didn't commit on a verbal assurance of later being broken out of prison, Genshin Asogi was taking an incredible risky gamble. Very true. There was nothing to stop the British breaking their word and executing him behind closed doors anyway. Under normal circumstances, no man would stake his life on a gentleman's agreement like that. Which means that Mr. Asogi must have had a trump card. Something that guaranteed he wouldn't be betrayed. Some kind of weapon. The fella couldn't have possibly have had anything like that. But you know that he did, Governor. The Asogi Papers, the name given to the last will and testament of Genshin Asogi. It turns out that Mr. Asogi was hiding his will in his cell at Barkley. Chief Ward Original caught him with it one day. You squealed, did you? You wee rat, did I not tell you to keep that a secret? You can't touch me now. When Mr. Vigil caught sight of that will through the bars of the convict cell, Mr. Asogi pleaded with the warder. Alright then, but what's on that paper? The last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. Weapon. And after the convict had been killed following the elaborate pretense of the jailbreak, that document mysteriously disappeared, didn't it? Well, yes, all the prison warders searched through the belongings in his cell, but that will was just nowhere to be found. As I understand it, an exhaustive search was made for the document which became known as the Asogi Papers. Governor Caden, I believe you ordered your prison staff to find it at all costs, didn't you? Would I be right in saying that you knew? You knew that the so-called Asogi Papers had the potential to make great waves somehow? What the blazes are you blathering about? The will was found right and proper. In the fella's cell where I said it would be. But how can it be? Where in his cell? We all searched the place from top to bottom. Boy, I didn't do a proper job, eh, you peely-wheely gullet? I showed it to you first, did I not? You lawyer. Yes, you did. I have the document here. It's written in Japanese and reads, The Last Will and Testament of Genjin Isogi. Which means everything is as it should be. Not quite, my lord. You see, there is an undeniable inconsistency here. What inconsistency? Mr. Isogi described this document as the only weapon he had left, and yet this will contains nothing of significance at all, nothing that would have given the convict any leverage. Are you suggesting, my learned friends, that the last will and testament stored at Berkeley prison all these years is actually a fake? As has clearly been demonstrated already, what went on at Berkeley prison was far from above board. That last vilification by the defense was an affront to the entire British legal system. This absurd notion of a weapon is something for which we have only the former chief warder's word. The man could quite easily be lying, or at the very least, sorely mistaken. What? No, I definitely heard him say that, I swear. Clearly we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to know exactly what happened with these so-called Isogi papers. A waste of time. If the will was fake, where is the real document? Mr. Wujil was stabbed in the back by the Judiciary 10 years ago. He lost everything, very nearly his own life. And now you're going to do it again. You are ready to brand him a liar and turn your back on him without even letting him defend himself. What did you say? It would seem that a bulk of you here are utterly blind to the truth. Very well then. Let the witness testify again. Tell the court precisely what you think you saw of the convict's last will and testament. Yes, sir, my lord. Ich möchte was überprüfen. The Isogi Papers. Und zwar, Genjin Isogi hat gesagt, das ist die letzte Waffe, die ihm noch bleibt. Jetzt, das ist jetzt sehr weit hergeholt, aber wir haben das tatsächlich, glaube ich, seitdem wir das erhalten haben, nicht einmal untersucht. Und zwar das Schwert von Kazuma Karuma. Was ist denn, wenn der was in der Schwertscheide versteckt hat? Und das ist dann nie aufgefallen. Also selbst Kazuma nicht, weil warum sollte Kazuma denn davon ausgehen, dass irgendwas in dem Schwert versteckt ist? Aber das ist das Einzige, was mir in den Sinn kommt. Und zwar, also hier könnte ich mir schon vorstellen, dass das manchmal genommen worden ist. Da könnte eventuell was drin. Karuma, the Great Blade. Such a thing of beauty. I want to gaze for it on hours. Da oben rein. Tip of the great sword, broken. Such a shame. It's been so meticulously cared for over the years. I can almost hear Karuma's sobs. Kazuma must have really taken a swing for that to happen. Aber echt nicht? Weiter. Ich war mir jetzt so sicher, dass da irgendwie, dass das in dem Schwert versteckt. Aber ich darf hier weiter an. Okay, gut, dann nicht. Okay. Weil ich hätte schwören können, dass das vielleicht mit meine letzte Waffe und dann Schwert. Hätte jetzt gut gepasst. Okay. Die Soggy Papers, das ist die nächste Zeugenaussage und um die werden wir uns im nächsten Part kümmern. Ich bedanke mich ganz herzlich fürs Zusehen, hoffe ihr hattet Spaß und wenn ihr mögt, sehen wir uns sehr, sehr gerne im nächsten Part wieder. Bis dahin, ciao!